Hawaii, although a beautiful and breathtaking vacation spot, is also home to some of the most striking anomalies to exist in our world. Let's take a dive into some strange things that have occurred on the beautiful sands of Hawaii. The Kukaniloko Birthstones, a very special historic site where royalty would be born. Literally, queens would come to this site and have their heirs here. The Hawaiian to English translation of the name also means to anchor the cry from within. And basically, while the queens would be going through the process, they wouldn't cry. This would also be a public spectacle, not for the open public, but with 36 witnesses and 48 others who would assist with the protocols during the births. From my understanding, it is meant to serve as a direct connection between the living and the afterlife, and by having the heirs in such a very important location, emphasize that as well. Even though it's no longer in use for those specific reasons, many people have taken up the challenge of keeping it sacred place for years to come. One member, Thomas Lenchanko, stated, "It is our inheritance. It is something we have to do. Our generation goes all the way back. We believe we are descendants of the gods. If we believe, if we say, if we do, then we perpetuate who we are. We say through education that we do. We perpetuate through our young folks." There is a taste of the Second Great War history within the waters of Hawaii, known as the Corsair plane wreck. You were able to dive down and view the aircraft that had crashed and sunk in the 1940s. The pilot who was flying it managed to make it out just fine, but obviously we weren't going to bother saving the aircraft. Instead, it turned itself into a huge tourist attraction. The reason why it went down isn't anything noteworthy, but rather the pilot experienced an engine failure while going through his usual routines and had to make a quick landing in the water. If you ever do plan on visiting it though, it is 115 feet below the surface, and because of how unpredictable the current is where the plane is situated, you need to either be an experienced diver or go with a guide. Despite the strong currents, thankfully the left wing of the plane managed to sink further down into the sand, allowing the plane to be anchored and remain there for years to come. But of course, life immediately took to it, making it overgrown with sea vegetation through all its cracks and crevices. History and nature are both beautiful and terrifying to see combined into one. The Night Marchers, a group of spirits that band together, some that have passed on and march along in their haunting walk, collecting spirits as they continue on into the afterlife. They make their appearance known as they pound their drums and blow their conch shells, announcing their presence as they walk along. Feeling the earth shake beneath your feet, as well as picking up the smell of sulfur, is also a terrifying indicator that they're getting closer. There had been reports of mist as well as seemingly coming out of nowhere, covering the land in a thin white sheet of transparency. Your biggest concern isn't seeing them, but becoming trapped within their march. If you ever do find yourself being cornered by these spirits, you must lay down in a prone position while covering your head. While doing this, you must also pray and chant to your lineage. Your best bet is hoping that there is someone from your family line that is within the crowd. If they hear you, they will do their best to vouch for you, so that they will not accidentally take you with them. However, if there truly is no one around to save you, you may just find yourself walking along with the spirits. The goddess of fire, lightning, wind, dance, and even volcanoes. The powerful Pele, a very well-known goddess whose home is believed to live within the summit of a volcano. Wherever there is a volcanic eruption that happens in Hawaii, the legend is that it's because she yearns to be with her true love. There are many versions as to how Madame Pele originally came to Hawaii before she was turned into a god. One legend states that she was originally casted out by her father for having a horrible temperament, and also trying to win the heart of her sister's husband. In her new home, her story had spiraled into countless tales of her infidelity, feuds, and heated outbursts. Another was that she was brought to Hawaii by her brothers, only for her sister to seek revenge for escaping. After their first encounter, Pele survived, but that only angered her sister further and resulted in the two of them engaging in an epic battle near Hana. There she would be split in two, her body thus transforming into a god. In terms of her love story, it's believed she was married to the god of water, but for some reason she angrily chased him back into the waters with her lava, a symbol and explanation for the violent and explosive eruptions that would happen. Mu, the shape-shifting water guardians of Hawaii. They take great care of the streams, waterfalls, and lakes. They're often seen as female deities, with some locals even reporting that they have the ability to transform into beautiful women. Why did this legend start? Well, that's because there are no native geckos that exist on Hawaii. All the ones on the island that you see must have come from somewhere else. There are also no fossils and no records of their past existence. There also exist stories of really intense battles between these gods and many others, showing how powerful they are when it comes to manipulating all the water at their disposal. Like most legends, this one serves as a purpose to remind people to respect the nature around them. One local in Hawaii stated, "I think that's one of the takeaways that, for me anyway, they've represented the strength in caring for and preserving places, especially water. So to be this protector of water in that way, the giver of life where everything comes from, I think that it's a beautiful story. Water is a necessity for all living things, so it makes absolute sense to have a guardian as fearsome as these ones protecting it." The Naupaka Flower, a mysterious plant that only has half of its petals. There are two versions of this plant and where it grows. One group chooses to live and grow in the mountains, and the other closer by the seashore. Why would that be? Long ago, according to legend, there was an ancient hula school for boys and girls, extremely strict with a whole set of rules. Is anyone really surprised that there would be a tragic love story that would emerge from this? Naupaka, a forbidden romance that they tried their best at keeping hidden. But sadly, during the night of their graduation, their chiefess noticed them sneaking off together. Their secret was blown. The biggest punishment for such a crime resulted in a heavy loss, and so they ran away. Thinking it would be harder to capture the both of them, they decided to split up. One would take to the mountains while the other took to the shorelines. This obviously didn't work, and the two of them succumbed to their punishments in both locations. The goddess of hula, Laka, was heartbroken by what she saw and decided on turning them both into plants. It explains why only half of them grow, a forever reminder that they could never be together. Some people choose to put these flowers together, finally making it whole. Let's get into some more tragic love stories for the month of love. Listen, they just happen to be tragic, it's not my fault. This one involves a strange flower that grows along an ohia tree called the Lehua blossom. Pele is once again brought into this because it was her temperament that got an innocent woman transformed in the first place. Long ago, there was a very handsome warrior named Ohia, and Pele was absolutely smitten by him. She expressed her feelings towards him, but out of respect for his fiancé, Ohia denied, saying that his heart was only for Lehua. Obviously, not taking this news lightly, Pele turned him into a twisted tree out of jealousy. When news got back to Lehua of what had happened, her heart broke into 1,000 pieces. The gods that overlooked this took pity on her, thinking that it was cruel and wrong for these two to become separated. So they turned her into a flower that grew only on the ohia tree, forever joining these two together for all eternity. With this story, no one would ever dare pluck the flowers from off this tree, separating the two lovers again, out of fear that they might anger the gods. The terrifying Hawaii legend of the Green Lady. Majority of her appearances happen around a botanical garden on the island of Oahu. Although there are many tales of her origins, the majority of people run with the idea that she had passed on from a tragic fate, forever on the constant search for a loved one. Some say that she is seeking justice, while others say she will not rest until she finds a very specific person. There are a few signs you will encounter if she's near you. The temperature will drop drastically, there will be strange sounds, and you start to feel uneasy and uncomfortable out of nowhere. She has horrifying green skin with razor-sharp teeth, and gives off the stench of rotting seaweed or moss. The Green Lady is said to have passed on from a broken heart after her loved one went missing through the gulch, and sometimes, if you're unlucky, she might accidentally mistake your loved one for her own. It is a reminder to keep those that you love close to you at all times when you walk through these areas. Do you have any Hawaii lore that you want to talk about? Let me know down below, and I will see you all in the next video.